Move. All right. So let's come and sit in a squat. And you can move your wrists like this. So not like this, but like this, circles. And you can try and go the other way as well. And trying to sit tall in the squat, bring the arms out to the side and rotate the arms in and out. It's hard not to be pushed back, huh? In the squat. But it's okay if the heels come off. So we'll do a nice shoulder warm-up, different core exercises. Let's bow forward and take a stretch of the hips. Okay, so let's play a game. You're sitting in the squat and you're just gonna put your hands somewhere, lean forward on top, and then return back to squat. Like you want to do a press to handstand. So you just take a little weight out there and return back to squat. This you can do in all directions, even straight to the sides. And maybe even behind you. Rotating on the feet, lifting on top. Bringing your shoulders even a little bit beyond your wrist, but maybe over the knuckles of your hands. Arms out to the side and squat and do some shoulder circles. Nice and big and slow. Moving half as fast as you think. Last one. So now we're going to play the same game, but we try and put the top of our head on the ground. So let's say I put my hand somewhere, I stack on top for a moment, and then after that somehow I try and get my head to the ground. I lift back up, and then I'm done. So it's going to be a little pause, and then a push up. And then you find your squat and go to a new place. And maybe you cannot touch the head to the ground, it's totally fine. You just try. Some angles will be easier than others. Maybe one last point. And let's sit down. You can put the hands out to the sides and then lift into tabletop, stretching the front of your shoulder. This is a very nice position to bring into your handstand practice. Because in handstand, we're all the time bringing our arms up. And to also have a little bit of mobility and strength in the completely opposite direction is very nice. So let's move our hips up and down 5 times in tabletop. And on the very top, really draw your shoulder blades together and show your chest upwards. And once that is over, reach your arms up and over in the direction of the toes and take a stretch. In Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. You can have a gentle pull with your arms wherever you're holding, if you're holding on your toes or your shins. Okay, let's lie down and we'll do a little bit of hollow body. So it should be fun, right? So let's try. So hollow body is this position where your lower back is in the ground. So just to have a frame of reference, try and place the lower back in the ground and then figure out how far away you can slide your feet while still keeping the lower back in the ground. Many of you will find that if you straighten the legs completely, the lower back comes off. So try not to go that far, and then noticing, okay, I'm still got my lower back in the ground, and maybe my hips have a certain angle, and that is the angle you want to keep as your lowest angle in the following exercises. You can rest your head but keep the lower back in the ground. So we start by straightening both legs. Keep the lower back in the ground. Take one leg up and return it back out to that angle. Then the other leg. So we're starting with the very hardest version, which is pausing on the extended place. We do this 3 more times, or 3 times total. Lower back in the ground, one leg moves at a time. Over your hips and then back out. Now bring one leg in, and now instead of pausing out there, you're going to switch both legs at the same time. Lock your knees, and the knees are all the time pointing up. Switching. And now finish, keep both legs straight over your hips. Now we finish with the easiest version, which is to bring one leg all the way out and back. And in this position, really activate your front thighs. Pull the legs in and the other leg all the way out. Maybe heel dipping to the ground. Pull it back in. Hollow body the whole time. Again, the back of your head can rest, but the hips should be working very hard. All the time the lower back should be in the ground, otherwise you're going too deep as you open the hip. Excellent. Let that go. Lie on your belly. And we'll simply do 20 back extensions. Very simple. Reach your arms forward in a handstand. Lift everything up. Tightening the bow. And then lower everything down. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Reach your arms out, keep your elbows straight. 11, 12, 13, 14, elbows straight. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Bring your hips over your knees. Walk your arms out. I prefer that you stay on your fingertips and that you then melt your chest downwards. And this can be a little bit more active and dynamic than if you flatten your hands in the ground. Anyway, but you decide. And staying here in this shoulder opener. As you breathe, what happens if you make a slight contraction of your abdominals, of your belly, and then let it go as you inhale? What happens? Slight contraction of the of your abs on the exhale, and then inhale to let go. slightly different version of this is to bend your elbows and walk the elbows quite far together. Almost elbows touching, in fact. And then with hands in a prayer position, take a stretch downwards. This will feel a little bit more like it's your upper arm you're stretching. And hopefully you find a nice feeling of stretch under the armpits. Yeah, exactly. Let's take 3 deep breaths. Okay, take a break.